Hi, I'm Clemens and I will show you everything there is to know about DirectoryHider. Let's start DirectoryHider by double-clicking the icon. We can skip this intro by clicking here anywhere with your mouse. Let's start by telling you what it is that DirectoryHider can do. I open up Explorer, my C drive, and here I have a directory, my directory. This directory contains some Excel sheets and I would like it if not everybody would be able to open these and read them. I can do this by using DirectoryHider. DirectoryHider will hide your directories. I should also mention that a directory is known by its synonyms, either folder or map. So here on the C drive I have the directories I could hide. Can I hide just any directory? No, you can't. There are directories that are used by your operating system, like program files, Windows, users. You can't hide any directories used by your operating system, nor can you use any directories inside one of those directories. So for instance, this directory I could not hide because it is part of the users directory. Okay, let's have a look at the menu. We have two items in the main menu, File and Help. If we open the File menu, we start with Exit, and of course this will exit the program. Okay, if we now take a look at the configuration menu, the first option we will see is Language. DirectoryHider has over 60 languages to choose from. However, you should know that only the English language and the Dutch language are human translated. All other languages are computer generated. And because they are computer generated, some translations may be wrong or not quite as they should be. However, these translations normally are good enough to be able to work with the program. And we also provide a special program so that you can easily make changes to these translations and make them correct. Okay, just for the heck of it, let's select a language that we can immediately see that everything has changed. So I will select the last language, choose language, and now as we can see, everything is completely different. So let's pretend I can read this language, and now again I will select the English language as the main language. Okay. Inside the configuration screen we also have backup configuration file, restore configuration file and reset configuration file. Normally you shouldn't have to worry about that, but maybe something happens to your system and maybe you find yourself in need of either resetting or restoring your configuration file. Well, you can select backup configuration file. The system will come with a pop-up. It will say that it has finished backing the configuration file. Then we can of course restore the configuration file. It will give no message, but it has restored the configuration file. And finally we can reset the configuration file. Resetting the configuration file, it will now say that the configuration file has been reset. Existing users have been added. Well, as DirectoryHider only has one user, that's not much of a problem. The configuration file that we just reset and restored contains some simple information that this program needs. So restoring or resetting the configuration file should not matter. Then we have registration. As you can see, I have 5 days left until I need to register. That will be on the 23rd of the 9th in 2015. Why do I need to register the program? It is free after all. Well, the program itself indeed is free. However, once a year I do need to register myself on the website using my email address. And that's all there is to it. We will show this registration process in a while. For now, let's go back. Let's check if there is an update. As you can see, we're currently using the latest available version. As mentioned, we have over 60 languages, and some of the translations inside these computer-generated languages may be far from perfect. So I can open Translation Correction, and it opens up with all the sentences used inside this program. I can select here the language to change, and here I can have some language to compare. Well, usually I might want to change this language, and I might compare it with the English language. If I now select this sentence, I see that this is the English sentence, this here is the translated sentence, and now I can make some changes. Should there be typing error inside, for instance, the English language, I could, as a matter of fact, also make changes to the English language. Translation correction itself has a comprehensive video that tells you all there is to know about translation correction and how you can use it. Simply click this button here and the video will start. So for now I will close translation correction, and then we have main screen. Of course this simply goes back to the main screen. Let's go to language. I could go back by pressing this back button, but I could also go back to simply selecting main screen. Then there is the help menu. Questions and answers. The questions are located here below the index. And here's the question, and below the question here we have the answer. How can we use the index? Well, simply click on any part of this line of the question that I'm interested in. Registration in this example. Now I select here the index button, or I could press F4. And now I go to registration. I can read all about it. I can press F5 or this button to move back to the top. Now let's suppose I have a question that I cannot find in the index. I place my mouse cursor in this text box and I type, for instance, the word directory. And I now can click on this search button or the F3 key, and from the top it finds directory. Well, that's not what I was looking for. Well, let's click a few more times. And as you would expect from such a search button, it keeps on searching the text downwards until it finds the next occurrence of whatever it is that you were looking for. So I will now again click the back button. If I click on View Help, our help video player will start up, and it will start with the video you're currently watching. Our help video is subtitled, again subtitled in over 60 languages. You can use the slider to move the play position of the video. You can open the menu, select a different subtitle language, full screen, select a different font color, load help videos, reset everything. And again, also here you could start translation correction and make changes to the sentences used in the help video. And also our help video player has its own help video that you could use as a menu. If you would like to see the help video player's help video, simply select this button, select help video, double click.
Hi, my name is...
And now the help video player's help video will start and show you everything there is to know about the help video player. The next item in the help menu is Compare Editions. As you may know, we have 3 different kinds of programs that enable you to hide a directory. We have DirectoryHider. DirectoryHider is free. It allows you to hide up to 10 different directories at the same time, and each directory may not contain more than 10 files. Of course, if you would use a compression tool, you could cheat a little bit. And then we have MapHider. MapHider basically has more users, and therefore it can be used without raising suspicion. How this works, we show you in the MapHider video. There is no limitation on the amount of directories or the amount of files inside a directory. And our third version, FolderHider, well, it's basically the full version. It has an unlimited number of users. The protection level of folder hider is far greater, and no matter which of these Windows versions you're using, it can be used on mapped network drives. I have to say that if you're using Windows 10 and only Windows 10, then all 3 programs can be used on a mapped network drive. Perhaps I should explain what a mapped network drive is. I open up Windows Explorer. These 2 drives are physically located inside my computer. It's a hard disk and it's a USB drive. These drives, however, are network drives. They are not inside my computer. They are located in different machines, different computers. This drive, for instance, it's called the Z drive inside my computer. However, in the computer Internet Server 1, it is actually the D drive. So this hard disk is not located in my computer. And these kinds of network drives is what Windows refers to as mapped network drives. Due to a difference in the Windows versions, only in Windows 10 can mapped network drives be used by all 3 programs. If you're not using Windows 10, only folder hider can work with mapped network drives. Okay, let's go back. Directory hider can be used on Windows Vista, Windows 7, 8, 8.1 and Windows 10. Inside the Help menu we now only have the Info About button. Right here you could open up the Topsys website. You can see here how many trial days are left. And by clicking the OK button we go back to the program. Let's start by hiding a directory. I click on this button and I can now select a directory I want to hide. I will select my local disk, the C drive, and I have a directory called My Directory, and I will click on OK. As you can see here, my directory is hidden. I can now hide 9 more directories. And that is to say, I can hide 9 more directories at the same time. Because if I select this directory, make it unhidden, unhide selected directory, now the number goes back to 10. Okay, so currently we have no hidden directories. Let's open Windows File Explorer. As you can see here, I have my directory. It contains 10 Excel files. Again, I select my directory. Okay, it is hidden. I open up Windows File Explorer. And as you can see, the My Directory is no longer displayed. Again, I click on My Directory. I select Unhide Selected Directory. I open Windows File Explorer. And as you can see, My Directory is again visible and it can be used. Now, let's also select a directory on a USB drive. My USB drive. Before I press OK, I will show you my USB directory. I press OK. And here we have Windows File Explorer. My USB directory is no longer visible. I select my USB directory from this screen. Press Unhide Selected Directory. And Windows File Explorer will now again show my USB directory. As we told you when we showed you the compare editions, you can also hide a directory using Directory Hider in Windows 10 on a mapped network drive. So here is Windows File Explorer. Inside a mapped network drive there is my network directory. It's not located in this computer, it's actually on one of our servers. So I press this button. This PC, the Y drive, my network directory. OK. It's mentioned here. And if I go back to Windows File Explorer, as you can see, my network directory is no longer visible. Again, I select my network directory from this list box. Select Unhide Selected Directory. And as you can see, in Windows File Explorer, my network directory is visible and therefore it can also be used. Okay, there's one more thing we need to show you. Let's suppose we hide a directory. My directory, okay, my directory is now hidden. If I now terminate the program, I can open up Windows File Explorer. And as expected, my directory is still hidden. I now start DirectoryHider again. Hey, that's strange. I no longer see my directory displayed in this list box. I do, however, see that the number of directories I can hide is 9 and it's not 10. So that is an indication that at least one directory is hidden. The reason that this list box doesn't remember all the directories that you have hidden is very simple. You could have a USB stick, as a matter of fact several USB sticks. To make it complicated, the directories hidden on those USB sticks could actually be named the same, so that could be quite confusing, and you would perhaps get quite a lengthy list here. And then you could end up in the situation that you would select a directory to unhide, and if you did not have that USB stick installed in your computer, well, it would give an error, or at least say, well, you didn't install the stick. So we did it a bit differently. Okay, we opened up DirectoryHider, and as you can see, our hidden directory is no longer displayed. I do, however, have an indication, as this number is 9 and not 10, that one directory is hidden. We have multiple reasons why DirectoryHider doesn't keep track of the directories that you made hidden. First, and the most important one, is if you start DirectoryHider, you do not immediately get to see these are the directories that you made hidden. Well, that would make it very easy for other people to make it unhidden again. Second, you could have hidden a directory on a USB stick, and that USB stick might not be present in your system right now. So, how do we continue? How do we make our hidden directory unhidden again? Well, simply press this button, Scan Drive for my hidden directories. It scans all the drives that we have in this system, and I know that it was on the C drive, and I now press Scan Selected Drive for my hidden directories. And there it is. It's important that if you're scanning your drive for hidden directories, that you can also rescan for available drives. Why would you do that? Well, suppose that you have a USB stick, and right now you would think, oh yeah, I need to plug that USB stick in. And there it is. And I can make it unhidden again. Now, let's do the same for a USB stick. So we will hide a directory on the USB stick. My USB directory. Okay, it is hidden. I will terminate the program. I will even take out the USB stick. And we restart the program. As expected, the list box is empty. 9 more directories can be made hidden. So now I scan my drive for hidden directories. Well, oops, there's no D drive, so apparently I forgot to insert my USB stick. And now I rescan for available drives. And there we have the D drive. Scan Selected Drive for my hidden directories. There it is, my USB directory. And now I can make it unhidden again. As a difference between Folder Hider, Map Hider and Directory Hider, you will see that Directory Hider has at the bottom of its program an ad, and it will show each ad for about 30 seconds. Due to editing this video, the ads may appear restless and look to stay on the screen for more than 30 seconds. Furthermore, you may always rely on us that the content of these ads will always be family friendly. So I have hidden my USB directory on a USB stick. I went to another computer and I unhided the directory on that computer, and I forgot to hide it again. So if I open Windows File Explorer, you can now see that my USB directory is visible, and yet here it is, and the number of directories I can hide is now 9. It's no longer 10. How can I solve this problem? Well, simply we go to File, Configuration, Reset Configuration File. Here we have the message. It seems as if nothing has changed. However, if I quit the program, restart, now you see the number of directories we can hide is 10 again. Also, you must remember, if you hide a directory on a USB stick, or if you prefer to call it a USB drive, remember that after you press OK, you wait at least a few seconds before you take the USB stick out. This is because Windows does not perform all needed actions straight away. It has some kind of buffer, and sometimes this takes a few seconds. So that's just something to remember. Now, when I took my USB stick out and put it in a different computer, I could use DirectoryHider on that different computer as well to unhide that directory. However, I could not use MapHider or FolderHider to unhide that directory. And also the other way around, DirectoryHider is not capable of unhiding directories that you made hidden using MapHider or FolderHider. You may have noticed that DirectoryHider has a little square box here. It says make the program movable or not. If I click on it, program becomes a little bit larger. I now have the minimize button, maximize, and I can now move the screen around. If I press the square button again, as you can see, I can now no longer move the program around. Also, when in this state, DirectoryHider will start up at exactly the same position that you last closed it. This could be convenient, and DirectoryHider will also remember which state it last used. So if I now press the button to make it movable again, I quit the program, start it up, and as you can see, it is again in the movable state. So you only have to select whatever you prefer once. About the security level of DirectoryHider. DirectoryHider simply uses Windows itself to hide your directory. MapHider basically does the same. However, MapHider makes use of multiple users, and therefore inside the program, multiple persons can hide different directories, and they can only unhide the directories they themselves made hidden. But if you were to use FolderHider, then besides the basic hiding of the directory, a directory also will become password protected. This will be the password used to log on to FolderHider, so you don't have to keep entering passwords. And such a hidden directory will also undergo a metamorphose. It will become a different kind of directory. We will show you. Due to the extra protection in FolderHider, you will not be able to unhide folders hidden with FolderHider by simply doing some basic Windows stuff. For DirectoryHider and MapHider, this situation is different. But then again, you will always be able to gain access again to your hidden directories. So how can we see the directories we made hidden using some Windows settings? Well, let me show you. We start Windows File Explorer. Here we have my directory. As you can see, it is not hidden. We will change this now. And as you can see, my directory is no longer visible. How can we cheat? Well, let's go to View, Options, again View, Show Hidden Files, Folders and Drives. This is what most people would expect. We could apply and press OK. But my directory is still not visible. So we have to do one step more. Options, View, and now we uncheck Hide Protected Operating System Files. It's recommended not to do so. It's recommended to keep this checked. Windows comes with a warning. We ignore this warning. So Hide Protected Operating System Files is now unchecked. Apply. Okay, and now we basically get to see all the directories that are in our selected drive. As you can see, recovery, that is a real directory from Windows itself. But here we have my directory. We can double click it and here are the files in the directory. You could actually even open a file. Here you will see a directory called Network Workgroup. You may occasionally even find more of these directories with the identical names. Depending on your Windows version, they might be called a bit different. However, this directory is hidden using the folder hider technique. On each drive that you use to hide a directory using either directory hider, map hider or folder hider, this directory will be created. But what happens if we double click it? Well, as you can see, it opened the network group. Well, basically, that is what is to be expected as. The directory is called Network Workgroup. So you see, a directory hidden with file hider cannot be simply opened. And besides the technique where this folder is now called Network Workgroup, which we call a metamorphose, we also have this directory locked and password protected. So even if a hacker would be able to circumvent this security option, then he would still find a directory which is password protected. Does this mean that no hacker in the world will be able to open your directory hidden with file hider? No, it does not, because there are so many hackers around and there will always be one willing to spend the time and the hours to make sure that he can get access. However, it will be very difficult. We have shown you how to make these hidden directories visible. However, this is not a normal state for a computer to be in, because in this state, where protected operating system files are no longer hidden, they could accidentally be removed and your computer could crash. So this is not a normal state for a computer to be in. We will put it back in the state as it normally is. And again, my directory is no longer visible. Now you could argue if directory hider is a great way of protecting your directories. As you can see, you can clearly make them visible. But we also explained that this is not a normal state for a computer to be in. So if you think that there are people who can access your computer who might really dive into your system in the way we have shown you, then you should consider buying folder hider. If not, and we think this will be for most cases, you can easily rely on directory hider to hide your files. Directory hider is a free program. However, in order to keep using directory hider, you will need to register the program. And in order to register the program, you need to register yourself on the directory hider website. The easiest way to visit the directory hider website is to go to Help, Compare Editions, and click on directoryhider.com. I will open up the website, and at the right side we will find the button Register. Click on Register, and now the registration page opens up, and here I can enter a username, DHuser. I enter a password, again the same password, and I have to conclude with my email address. To be sure that we're not a computer, we have to type whatever is on that picture, 6138, and I click the button I register and agree with the terms. Now a page opens up, Register Step 2. An email has been sent to your email account. Please click on the link in this email in order to log on to the website. So I open up my email. There we have the email, and this is the link that I have to click on. So now the website opens up. We get confirmation success. Confirmation has been concluded. I can now log in to the website. Username DHuser, the same password I just created, and I click on Login. I can see here that I'm logged in. It says hello and my username. After logging in, I can use these dark blue menus. I click on Program Registration. I select one license. There's a maximum of 25 licenses, so I should keep that in mind. One license. And here we have the page that will actually create the license. It says Directory Hider, renew date. This is the date before I will have to re-register again, simply by re-entering my email address. And I click on Create Licenses. The licenses are created, and I can now use this license number to activate the software. Go back to my email, and here we have a new email, transaction processed, and this here is the license key. Another way to get my license key is to go to the website, Licenses, Directory Hider, and as you can see here, this is the identical license key. I can click here on Open, get some more information. After registration, the unique PC code from my PC will be entered here. I copy the license key and now go back to the program. Configuration, registration. I paste the license key number and I click on Register. Thank you for registering this software. Opens up. I go back to the main screen. I can now click on Help Info About. And as you can see, trial days left is no longer displayed. The help video of translation correction does not show how to upload or download a single language file from the website, as this is done at each of the websites. So we will show that here. We open translation correction, we select English, we have found our error, correct the error, press on OK. You can see the error has been corrected. I click on Save Language. You can see here Directory Hider Translations. It's the program and the language is English. I click on Save and I can now close translation correction. I will open up the website. As you can see, we're still logged in. Go to Translations. I now click on Upload. The version number Directory Hider is 2.30. 2.30. As translator, I can enter whatever I want. Well, in this case, it's me. Remark. It's just a test. Status not applicable. Browse. I search for the language file. I click on Open. And now I click on Upload selected file. Upload succeeded. To download the translation, I click on Translations. Download. It will search for an English translation, because English is the language we have chosen to be displayed. I find version 2.30. This is what I have just uploaded. I click at the right side on the download link, and I now can download the file. I click on Save, and I can click on Open Folder. And as you can see, we have now downloaded the file that we have just uploaded. Well, that concludes our video of Directory Hider.